Welcome back to another program with NMA at Cambridge Educational TV channel. So for today's program, it's a really important topic for parents to listen to, and kids you should listen to. So whenever your parents tells you this, just remind them of this program. The program is about things you should never say to your children. Stop crying, you will be fine. No, don't say that to your children. It's just like stop crying. How will they're gonna be magically fine? No! Like just do something for them so they could feel better and stuff.
Telling your children to stop crying makes them feel like they are wrong for showing emotions. As much as it may be frustrating for parents, it doesn't help us to criticize your child for doing something that children do naturally. You are essentially invalidating their feelings.
I do everything for you.
As much as it is true that parents do a lot for their children, constantly reminding them of it can make them feel like a burden rather than love. It usually sets to discipline a child, but is a rather hostile thing to say.
You did well, but you could do better.
Firstly, any compliment that's followed by "but" should be avoided as it takes away the meaning of the compliment itself. Celebrating small victories is a way to motivate children to constantly do well. Using the word "but" will make them feel like they have not really made you proud and didn't do enough, which will certainly do more harm than good.
Don't eat that or else you're going to get fat. No. No one has to tell their children that they're going to be fat because they ate something. Come on, kids want to eat something, let them have it. But candy, yeah, not too much candy. Not because of they're getting fat. It's just bad for your teeth and it's just bad for your health.
This is a major no-no. It teaches children to be overly conscious of their bodies and will make them question their peers for eating certain things. Body image is an extremely sensitive and personal thing, and to create this impression from such a vulnerable age is damaging.
It's not that big of a deal. Or, stop being such a baby. Parents say that. The child is not literally being a baby. They're just crying, and it's just, your feelings, okay? It's just hurt, and come on.
This is one of the worst things you could possibly tell your child when they are upset. It invalidates their feelings and makes them reluctant to openly talk to you. Children should feel comfortable with communicating their feelings, and telling them it's not that big of a deal will make them question themselves.
Do I have to tell you this 100 times? Parents, don't tell them do I have to tell you this 100 times? Of course the kids know you told them about 3 or 4 times. Well, not 100 times, 3 or 4 times you told them, and they just don't listen because they really liked it. Next time, just tell them, say, don't do this again, okay? It's just, for example, when they jump on the sofa. It's just a lot of hard work, and but you can do it sometimes, not every single time. Probably once a month, You can tell them to not actually do it, but not with mad. Do I have to tell you 100 times? No, don't be mad.
This one is a classic. By telling your children this, you're essentially nagging about how much you need to nag, which clearly isn't getting through to them.
Big girls or big boys don't do that. No, they're still your child, and sometimes they just want to do it, and they do it because it's they're feeling that they remember they did as a kid or something.
A very common example of this is big girls or boys don't cry, usually followed by crying is only for babies. Whether it is crying or anything else for that matter, let children be children. If there is something you are unhappy about, never use their age as an excuse.
That's only for boys, or that's only for girls. Some people, when girls try to play soccer or someone, they say, that's only for boys. You can't play soccer. Or when someone's trying to do, for example, their hair, they comb their hair as boys, or something, they just say, they tell them, hey, combing is just for girls. Come on, don't do that. There's no difference between boys or girls.
Limiting boys and girls to what they can and cannot do based on their gender tells them that there are certain ways that boys should behave and certain ways that girls should behave, and if they don't comply, it is wrong. It puts children in boxes and they grow up believing in toxic societal gender roles. Instead, try saying nothing at all.
I'm disappointed in you. Come on. Like, they're your child. Why would you say that? To hurt their feelings.
As much as disappointment is a very valid feeling, this word alone can be scarring. Many people genuinely grow up believing they are disappointment to their families because they are mindlessly told this throughout their lifetime.
You better do what I say or else.
Without a doubt, this sounds more like a threat than anything else. Using fear to discipline children is unhealthy and usually backfires. Simply explain why you would like something to be done, and they will be more likely to comply.
You live under my roof, so follow my rules.
Another thing a lot of parents love to say, very similar to "this is my house, you're just living in it." Both of these statements make your child feel unwelcomed in their own homes and make them feel borderline burdensome.
That's how I was raised. So if you, like the parent's parent said, like for example the kid's grandma or grandpa saying to like their daughter, which is the kid's mom, saying, or the dad or anything, saying, hey, you should clean the floor, and then the mom of the child says, you should clean the floor, because that's how I was raised.
Although we learn a lot about parenting based on how we were raised, it's very closed-minded to reject a child's request or condemn their actions by saying, that's how I was raised. Instead, explain to your child why you feel a certain way rather than being quick to shut them down with that line. You can use it as an example, but it should not be your main argument.
You're just like your mother or father. Like, don't say that to your children, because sometimes it may mean something bad if you're like, for example, if your parents like did something bad and then you just say, you're just like your father. You're just like your mother.
Using this line on your child not only lets them know that what they are doing is wrong, but makes them feel that they inherited from one of the parents and that they shouldn't be accountable for their actions. It also lets your child know about the grievances you have with the other parent, which can result in them feeling somewhat divided.
We can't afford that. Just don't tell your children that, because then they're gonna just feel bad and I'll go through a hard time.
Making children aware of financial difficulties from a young age can instill a sense of fear in them more than anything else.
I told you so. Your parent tells the kid, I told you so. So what you told him so? I know the kids are supposed to be kind to their parents, but you told them so, but you should just be like, come on, I told you, can you please do it? Yes, please.
This is the last thing anyone wants us to hear when something goes wrong. Yes, you may have been correct in what you warned your child about, but comforting them instead of throwing it in their face will make them feel more open to talk to you in the future.
I wish you were more like your friends, your cousins. Like, it's your child, you raised him, and like, I'm not trying to be mean or anything, but don't say that because it's gonna hurt the child's feelings. I mean, just like, you should be like your cousin. I wish you were more like your cousin. Your cousin always listens to their mom. Your cousin always cleans the dishes. Your cousin does that. So what? You aren't meant to be someone else.
A child's self-esteem can really take a knock when they are told this, whether they are compared to a sibling or anyone else for this matter. It makes them feel like they are not enough. Instead, try not comparing your child to others to persuade them to do something.
You're too young to think about this. Then their kid's curiosity or something, it's just gonna go, and like, they're just curious.
Shutting down a child's curiosity will make them less likely to ask you things in the future, and they will seek answers from other sources that may not be as trustworthy.
We've came to the end of this program, everyone. I hope you all enjoyed it and learned something from it. And parents, please remember, don't say those things to your children. Make sure to watch my program every Friday night at 8 p.m. and watch all the other programs at Cambridge Educational TV Channel. I love you so much. Bye!